Okay, can everyone hear me? Alright guys, before we get started, let me introduce you to someone very talented, very handsome, okay, it's very funny, me. My name is Alex. Hello everyone, I will be doing the commentary on this tour today, and this is our beautiful driver Jason. Give him a round of applause. Okay, before we get started folks, just a few safety instructions, okay? So I need you to keep those black safety bars on your lap at all time, thank you. These will be our seat belts on this trailer today. If you need me to stop the tractor at any time, Jason, all you have to do is pull that cord above your heads, okay? It'll send a signal into the cab and Jason will stop straight away. Lastly, we will have a few stops today folks, so please take caution when you step off and on the trailer, okay? Those side steps can get a bit slippery at times. If you have any rubbish, we have rubbish bins under row 1 and row 8. Is everyone ready to go? Okay. We're good to go, Jason? Now once again folks, welcome to this farm tour. A beautiful day in perspective, the sun is kind of shining, the birds are kind of singing, and Jason is kind of a good driver. Let's start our tour with a bit of history, shall we? Going back to 1969, that's when the old Agrodome concept began, when Mr. Godfrey Bowen was sent to Osaka, Japan by the government to host a sheep shearing show like the one we saw today. In Japan, the show was a real success, folks, so he decided to bring it back to New Zealand, in a little town down south called Louvain. Unfortunately, in Louvain, the show was not much of a hit, so he simply moved it up in the North Island, in the tourism capital of New Zealand, Rotorua, and the show has been a real success ever since. We now host tours and shows for people from all around the world. To give you a bit of an example, let's see where everyone's from today. Where are you guys from? Oh, thanks for your support, guys. Where are you from? Where are you guys from? Where are you from? Where are you from? So that gives you an example of the variety that we deal with every day, right? Further in time, in 2011, a Maori tribe named Ngāi purchased the rights to the Agrodome. Ngāi also owns various businesses throughout New Zealand in different fields: farming, fishing, real estate, and of course, tourism. Coming here at the Agrodome gives you the unique perspective of observing our farming industry within the tourism business. Now, if you would like to look on both sides of the trailer, you will see the Nongotaha River. Ta-da! Translated from Maori to English, Nongotaha means to drink from a jar, so the name is strongly connected to water. Get ready folks, we are about to engage into our first paddock for the day. In this paddock we have our sheep. Now guys, if you would like to look on your left, against the fence over here, you will see our first specimen of sheep today. It's a very special breed, folks. These ones, they're called KF sheep. No, I'm kidding, it's a rooster, guys. So the breed of sheep that we have in this paddock, they are Romneys. They are the most popular breed of sheep in New Zealand. They farm for two purposes: for their meat and for their wool. Their wool is very thick and very coarse, so they use it for things like carpets or farming socks or winter gloves. All the specimens in this paddock also are females, alright? So they recently had babies, as you can see, or some of them are still hapu or pregnant with babies inside of them. If you look on the left, this paddock that you see belongs to the Rotorua Western Riding Club. This is where locals train their horses. Now, ladies and gentlemen, in order for you to be able to communicate with our sheep, I'm going to teach you two words in sheep language, okay? So to say hello to a sheep, you say ba. Alright? To say goodbye, you say ba-bye. Make sense? Alright. Now Jason is going to try and find us a nice spot so we can have a little picnic with our sheep. If you look on your right, coming up, this big red sheet is our shearing sheet. This is where we give our sheep their haircuts. We shear them every 6 months here at the Agrodome. Straight after we shear them, we release them in the paddock. They will eat more grass, their skin will double in thickness, their blood flow will increase, and they will start growing wool much faster than usual. It will give them more during these long winter nights. Alright folks, we're just going to have to wait for the tractor to be off. Now, I invite you to step out the trailer please. I'm going to hand you some food to feed our animals. Now Jason here speaks sheep. See, that means lunchtime in sheep language. Now once you have some food in your hands, keep your hand nice and flat and eat straight off your palm, alright? Now, ladies and gentlemen, do not worry if any of our sheep has a heart attack. I am fully trained to perform CPR. All our sheep would agree with me today to say that it's a beautiful day today, guys. Now, folks, once you've finished feeding our sheep, I invite you back onto our trailer for the rest of our thank you. We'll still have a lot of beautiful things to discover together. It's time to say bye to our sheep. Now, does everyone has their safety bars on? Let's carry on. Now, folks, if you look on our Now right inside far ahead we have Mount Rotorua. So a few centuries ago there used to be a Maori tribe living up this way. On your right once again some more beautiful of our cave sheep. That moose you hear folks is a kettle stump. It's a concrete wall with metal bars across the top, preventing our animals to cross over. That way we don't have to open and close gates all the time. New Zealand farmers are lazy! We are currently going through an underpass, and the road above our heads is highway number 5. If you're heading north, this road will take you to Hamilton and Auckland, and if you're heading south through Rotorua, your next stop will be Taupo. Just like that, ladies and gentlemen, we are in our second paddock for today. In this paddock, we have our cattle, our cows, and our bulls. New Zealand is a beautiful green country with beautiful green grass, which means that the quality of our dairy is exceptionally beautiful. 25% of our national production of milk is exported throughout the world. Some of the breeds of cows that you will see today are used for their milk, and others are used for their meat. Before I carry on, is there any vegetarians on board today? No? No vegetarian? Good. Alrighty folks. Starting up with our first candidate for today. That beautiful orange lady coming up on your left is a Jersey cow. She's my favorite breed. Her milk is very high in fats, so they use it to make ice cream, yogurt, or cheese. Yummy, yummy. Now, further up, you might see this big black one with a lump on his back. Okay, this one is a Brahman. They come from India, and the lump on his back is actually a fat deposit. This is how they store water and energy. Further up, this other big black one is an Aberdeen Angus. This breed comes from the United States of America, #1 breed in the world for his meat. If you've ever been to McDonald's and had an Angus burger, that's one of these big boys you're eating. Now, you might be able to see another one that is hiding behind that tree trunk over there, that fluffy one looking like a giant Oreo cookie. This one is a belted Galloway. His meat is very expensive because it contains marbles. They only serve it in high-class restaurants. Now, this very iconic black and white one is a Friesian. She is #1 worldwide in the dairy industry. She can produce up to 40 liters of milk a day, folks. Okay, Jason. Now, the breeds that I've pointed out for you folks are the most popular in New Zealand. Another very popular animal here in New Zealand, we have our deer on your left hand side. So the breed that you see right now are called red deers, a very popular breed here in New Zealand. They farm for 2 purposes. For their meat and for their antlers. Now folks, the tree coming up on our right is a Californian oak. So this one is 120 years old. Alright guys, now it's time to play a little game called Spot the Difference. So I'm gonna let you look on both sides of the trailer. Tell me if you can spot the difference. That's right. So the fence on this side is much taller than the fence on this side. Do you know why? That's because this fence did not eat its vegetables. Alright kids? No, I'm kidding. The fence on this side, guys, is a deer fence, and deers are amazing jumpers. They can jump up to 160 centimeters above ground. Coming up on your left, we have another very popular breed of deer here in New Zealand. These ones are called fallow deers. You can only find them in the wild. They're very fast and very agile when they run through the bush. If you've ever seen the movie Bambi, Bambi is a fallow deer. Waiting us in our next paddock, we have our llamas and our alpacas. So these two breeds of animals originate from the mountains of South America in Chile and Peru. They're farmed here in New Zealand, but only for their wool. People do not eat their meat. Lucky for them. So these animals belong to the same families as camels and giraffes. So a lot of people ask, what's the difference between a llama and an alpaca? So ideally, llamas have long necks, short necks. Alpacas have short necks and long necks. You also have a breed with long legs and long necks. These ones are called giraffes, but we don't have them here in New Zealand. Just like with our Romneys, we will be able to have a quick stop and feed our animals with you today, folks. So don't worry, these animals are not aggressive, okay? They have no top teeth and they do not eat meat anyway, so they will not bite you. Alright guys, so these are for our alpacas and these are for our llamas. Please do not mix them, okay? It's very important. I'm kidding, it's the same guys. Help yourselves.
Just like yesterday's animals.
Breakfast in bed, hey? In my dreams. There we go. Not so hungry over lunch.
Folks, you might also notice that we have another breed of sheep here in this paddock today. These brown sheep are called Arapawa sheep. They were created here in New Zealand on the island of Arapawa. They're actually an experiment gone wrong. They're a mix between the black Romney and the merino. They wanted the merino part for the wool. Unfortunately, they ended up with the wool of the Romney and the horns of the merino.
you or daddy, you'll tackle us. He looks like he had a bad haircut though, this one, doesn't he? Yeah, look like he got beaten with the agro stick. Look at that.
That's Scott's story that he's got.
2.5.
Yeah, that's probably that.
3 next February.
So that's the. Because I've read and I've asked Scott about the sheep man here, but he said that's it.
Matches where just on the other side of Hamilton there.
But at the end of the day, it's a cross-breed sheep. It's a
We're going to
mongrel
stay
sheep.
tonight.
Yeah,
as
it
well,
is.
but he wants to go home. He wants to go and see his dogs.
But as you think to originate, yeah. But I think a whole bunch of sheep just bred, interbred, and then she came up with a
He's
mongrel.
asking for her. She's the one that annoys the hell out of him.
You
Jumps all
want to
over
get going,
him.
and then we can go and make a.
Hey.
Alright guys, once you're ready, I invite you back onto our shallow fleet for the rest of our journey. For our next stop, we will be trying some juice and some honey. Once again, please take caution of us, fluffy like teddy bears, and some are very lumpy drinking here. So these ones, they're called a Siri, and their wool is very expensive. It can cost up to 27 New Zealand dollars for 1 kilo of their wool. That is because their wool is extremely resistant. It's also lighter and warmer than merino wool. As we leave this paddock, take one last beautiful view at our lake, Rotorua, on your lake. In the middle of the lake, you have Mokoya Island. So just like with Mount Noah, there used to be a Maori tribe living on Mokoya Island a few centuries back. It is now protected scenic bird sanctuary. We are now descending into our olive orchard. So olive trees originate from the warm region of the Mediterranean. They can live for thousands of years and they can last weeks on without any water. When it comes to the size of an olive, there are two different kinds. The big ones we call them donkey olives, and the small one we call them bullet olives. It takes 7 kilos of the donkey olive to make 1 liter of olive oil. But olives and olive leaves are very high in antioxidants. As a matter of fact, in the ancient Greece, athletes used to take baths with olive leaves in order to help their muscles recover faster, eliminate all the toxins from their bodies, and women used to use olive oil to smoothen their skin. Alright folks, now it's time to stop for a little treat. we're going to stop in our education center on your right, so you can try some of our juice and some of our honey. I'm just going to ask you to be very careful when you step off the trailer and onto the stairs. Thank you. Take your time. We're not in a hurry. And ask me or Jason if you need any help. Okay, so we've got some toilets on this side, otherwise the open bar is this way. Alright, come forward to try some of our juice, guys. Yeah. And try the orange juice. Try some juice first and then I'll give you some honey. So if you have any rubbish, please, in the white bucket, thank you very much. Oopsie, sorry, man. Oopsie.
your own hives?
No, they made all so.
Getting on the food.
Oh, did you make this here or?
No, so this is made in Auckland. No. What is it?
Oh, I thought we were trying to actually make it.
It's in the trees that we were.
Yeah, they do. Alright guys, if you're finished, I invite you back onto our trailer, please.
You got your juice on the back of the truck? You got the juice on the back of the truck, mate, and I'll, I can buy you something this later if you want some. Come on. There's a nice little taste, eh?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you have enjoyed our juice and our honey. We are now engaging into our kiwi orchard. So as you probably know, kiwi is the most popular fruit in New Zealand. But I'm going to tell you a terrible secret. They do not originally come from New Zealand. That's right, they come from China. And when they were first imported in New Zealand in the 1800s, they were called the Chinese gooseberry. But to make it more appealing to the public, they decided to rename the fruit. And because it is round, brown and fluffy like a kiwi bird, they simply called it the kiwifruit. Kiwifruit is one of nature's superfoods, very high in vitamins and very high in fiber. It's also very versatile. You can put it in many different types of food, your fruit salad, your smoothies. You can also put it on your pavlovas, or simply if you want to cut it in half and scoop out the inside. We have 3 different varieties of kiwi here in New Zealand. The green one that we just tried. We also have the yellow one and the red one. In this orchard we have 1 male tree or 2 female trees, and it is the female tree that gives the fruit. Now, if you see far ahead on your right side, these big, bushy, fluffy trees, these are feijoas, another very popular fruit here in New Zealand. They actually come from Brazil and South America. If you translate their name from Portuguese to English, feijoa means feijoa. Sorry, there's no English equivalent, folks. Now, get ready, folks, for your cutest encounter of the day. Behold, on our right we have our alpaca kunikunis. Where are they gone? Sorry folks, they seem to be hiding. Oh, okay, coming up on your right, sorry. The one they hang around this side. As you can see, we have some little babies who were born recently. So this breed of pig was imported by the Maori people when they first settled foot in New Zealand. They were used as a source of food back in the days, but now people don't really like to eat them because they're more fat than their meat. However, they make very good pets for home. They will eat all your scraps, all your leftovers, and you can even teach them tricks just like dogs. Once again, folks, we're about to cross the Rotorua River. In this river, you can actually find two different breeds of trout fish. We have the brown trout and the beautiful rainbow trout. During fishing season, local loves to come around these ways and try their luck at catching the beautiful rainbow trout. You can smoke it, grill it, or bake it. Either way, it is delicious. Now this big boy on your right is called Bobo. He is a wapiti. Wapitis come from Canada. They are the largest breed of deer in the world. If you are an adrenaline enthusiast, I suggest you take a walk through this place on your left. It's called Velocity Valley, and in there you have a few interesting attractions such as the bungee jump, the giant swing, the jet boat, the capsule race, and my favorite one coming up on your left, folks, the freefall simulator. It's a giant fan that will blow you up in the air like you just don't care and simulate the sensation of a freefall. If you're thinking of going skydiving one day, I suggest you try a simulation like this first, just to know what to expect sensation-wise. It can be quite overwhelming. Now, if you've heard of Manuka honey in the past, on your right we have some Manuka trees. Can you see those little white flowers? They are the flowers that bees use to make the precious Manuka honey. So these plants are endemic to New Zealand, and they also are a very powerful antibiotic. This little bluebird is called a pokeko. These funny looking birds come from Australia. They are called emus. They are the second largest breed of bird in the world. Now, coming up on your right, folks, once again, we have the largest and the fastest bird in the world, the ostriches. So these birds come from Africa. You might be able to see some eggs in that little sand square over here. So these obviously are ostrich chicks. One ostrich chick is equivalent to 28 chicken eggs. That's a big omelet in the morning, folks. So the gray one is the female and the black one is the male. The fastest and the largest bird in the world, but it wasn't always the case. A few centuries ago in New Zealand, you could find a giant breed of bird, about twice the size of an ostrich. These birds were called moas. Unfortunately, they were hunted to extinction by natural predators, mankind. They were hunted for their meat, their feathers, and their bones. There is now no more moas in New Zealand. The only moas you can find are lawn mowers. highway number 5. Now, take a good look on your right and guess what we put in this big green shed. Have a guess. What do you think we put in this big green shed over here? Nope. In here, guys, we put our tractors. We can fit up to 6 tractors with trailers in this shed. And yes, it does require some good driving skills, which is why most of the time they don't let me do it. So every day after work, we put our tractors on the washing bay, top them up with diesel, wash out the entire trailers, then we drive them back into the shed and we run some safety checks. And those little pens on your right, this is where we expose our animals during the agricultural and pastoral show that occurs once a year here at the Agrodome. During the expo, farmers from all around North Island will come here and expose the animals and the products they would like to sell. It's a very popular event that attracts a lot of foreigners and a lot of locals. The expo also hosts a very famous sheep shearing race that occurs in front of the wool shed coming up on your left. So up to 4 shearers can stand at the front of the shed and shear sheep at the same time. Some countries pride themselves on how fast they can drink beer, while New Zealand pride themselves on how fast they can shear sheep. Now, for those of you who have seen our farm show or will see, in this paddock we have all our stage animals. So we have our 19 champion breeds of sheep. We also have a beautiful stage dairy cow and our very famous stage ducks. If you are a nature enthusiast, I invite you to take a walk through this bush on your left, and here you will see some of the most beautiful tree species that we have in New Zealand. 60% of the plants that we have in New Zealand are endemic. You will not find them anywhere else in the world. That includes the manuka, the rewarewa, and the very famous silver fern. Just going over a few bumps at the moment, sorry guys. We have our third and last one coming up. Five minutes after every show, we have a dog trial that occurs in this paddock coming up on your left. So a shepherd comes here with his dog, and together they will guide 4 sheep across the paddock into their pen. It is quite impressive to watch. Now coming up on your right, in this next paddock, we have some Shetland ponies, smallest breed of horse in the world. We have some bull goats. They originate from South Africa. We also have some donkeys, very strong animal, capable of holding twice their own body weight. And we have some Lysell horses, largest breed of horse in the world. And these guys happen to be quite famous. They played in Peter Jackson's movie, The Hobbit. Now if you look on your left, we just had a little baby donkey with his mom. This one was born 2 days ago. this building coming up on the left, folks, is the New Zealand White House. No, I'm kidding. It's our farmhouse. So in here we host special events for the public, such as wedding or Christmas parties or birthdays. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this comes the end of the tour. I hope that you have enjoyed yourselves. If you're looking at purchasing our juice or our honey, we have two shops in which you can find it. We have the Woolen Mill coming up on your left. And we also have the Dog and Whistle coming up further on your right. For those of you who would like to wash their boots and their shoes, we have a footbath coming up directly onto the left-hand side of the trailer. Right over here. It is left to say that it was a real pleasure having you on board today. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day and the rest of your stay in New Zealand. Kia ora and haere. And thank you to our driver Jason. He did a remarkable job today. Thank you, Jason.